You're listening to Puff Digital's Into the Weeds podcast, brought to you in part by Puff Puff Posts and HigherMentality.com.
The new and deadly menace lurking behind closed doors. Marijuana, the burning weed with its roots in hell.
So we make these T-shirts to represent our personality, and we think they'll sell very well. So we make this wonderful artist named Rodney Dunn. He used to be the background artist for the Beetlejuice cartoons. He's dead now, unfortunately. Wonderful guy. Drew this, Frank Cossack, kind of like Devil. You remember the things in the 90s that were like everybody was going, like the art, hot rod art or whatever you want to call it, kind of thing. So we drew us this devil going like this. We took it, we got a shirt made of it, a gold shirt, and it's just said in basic letters, trigger happy, now fuck off. And we got the rights from Paget to put the Bad Brains dates on the back of the shirt so it could be part of the package. So this is for the Bad Brains thing. So I knew the T-shirt guy who's making our shirts. So I got the screen for the Bad Brains part. So it doesn't say Bad Brains on it, but it has the same list of tour dates and the same funky logos that are on the thing. But Mark and I like to fuck with people. So we said to each other, like, you know what we should really do? We just watched that movie Heathers, and we thought there was a really funny part in the movie. So we decided to take a quote from Heathers and screen it in black ink on the bottom part of the black shirts. So everything else is gold. So once you wash the shirt, the screen will eventually come out if you don't see it already. So we screened I Suck Big Fat Cocks on the bottom of the shirts. And people started bringing them back to the merch booth, but they sold out. Like, we did this festival with the Ramones in Calgary called Infest. So it was the Ramones, Bad Brains. We were on a side stage. Ramones, Bad Brains, Violent Femmes. Can't remember the other bands or whatever. And but we sold out of all of them. But then the merch guy comes to me and goes, yeah, people started coming back. People started coming back saying, yeah, they didn't want this. And I said, no money, no returns. And they just threw the shirts at me. So you got a couple more. And we're just like... Then the road manager for the Bad Brain goes, the guys, they finally started warming up to us. They was hoping to get a couple of those shirts. And we're like, so I go, like a dick I am, I can give them to them, right? And so 5 go into a bag. And I remember putting them on the bus, going up on the bus, and I put it down on the bus. And I'm like, I might as well have just dropped a bomb, right? And I go outside, and I'm like, we're going to hear about it now. And then the next morning, our van beside their bus, there's the bag on our antenna. And then the I Suck Big Fat Cocks was cut out of one of them, so that part was inside the bag. And then I saw their roadie guy walking around with it cut off out of the bottom of his shirt. And I was pulled aside by Carrie saying, if you ever bring anything like that on the bus ever again that suggests that those gentlemen do something like that, there will be trouble. And that was the last that I ever spoke up on that tour, because it was one of the best tours that ever. That's when we played with Joyride.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's where I met Steve Soto and the gentleman from the Cruzados. That was in because we went all the way out first and then came back with them.
Okay.
Right, and then that's when we thought we were going to the next Raw Energy sensation.
Yeah.
We met Random Killing and Graham on that trip.
Okay.
And because we were on tour with the Bad Brains, anybody else that was at a Danny Bill, you got the cold shoulder, no matter where you were fucking from, right? This is before everybody started wearing. You know what I could always tell on the Warped Tour, and I'm not dissing it because I didn't get to do all of them. I always would notice whoever the cool band on the tour was, you might know this, everybody wore their windbreaker. So I remember going on I used to work for a sunglass company called Arnett. So They would send me out for a couple of dates, and I would start to notice who's the cool band if everybody's wearing their windbreaker. So Rancid was on the trip. So everybody on and everybody's crew had a Rancid windbreaker.
Okay.
And it was almost like your master's jacket. Like if you got to do something cool to get it. So I would see cats that didn't have it, and then the next day, they must have done something cool because they're wearing a Rancid windbreaker. Or they finally got the nerves to either it was Wolfman J or whatever that used to do their stuff like NoFX or whatever. I just used to notice that it was kind of funny or whatever. I don't know why I brought that up. Sorry. Back to what I was talking about. Bad Brains. So we thought we were going to be the next Raw Energy thing. So we met Graham.
Raw Energy is a Toronto-based, or was a Toronto-based record label that had it was for a while like the Toronto record label. Yeah,
they were ruling with a fantastic ska band called King Apparatus. They did really good compilations. That was another one. Another one of these passports or kind of like free internet was they would do compilations, and they didn't rip people off, but their compilations did really, really well.
They did.
Like if you got
all
on there,
compilations kind of did well.
yeah, you got mail. Like I remember coming home from tours that we would do, and my mom, God love her, would have these mail came from Spain. This came from the States. This is from here. This thing. She'd have them all arranged for me, and then a list of phone numbers. Bert Gerwitz called. Jesus Bonehead called. My mom would go, "Who's Jesus Bonehead?" And I just thought the list of names, right? Like, is out there? Yeah, it's fucking out there. It's funny. The places you will go.
Yeah,
this is all I can say for anything of this. And then I introduced Graham. Well, like I said, we gave Random Killing the cold shoulder. It was a dickish move, just of who plays before. Like you know what it's like. It's like no, you direct support. Fuck it, no, it's our fucking turn.
Yeah,
right. Like I fucking this and this. You're not just coasting through. I've had to be told this each night. You're gonna do it. So now they're now Random Killing eventually became some of our best friends, right? Because then we showed the snottiness to Graham, and Graham at the time was a make it or break it kind of guy for you because he had the ear of the press. He's very, very seriously big part of a lot of people's careers. He didn't make it easy for himself, and then nobody ever really does. And some of my fondest memories are some of his worst times, to be honest with you. So some could say that about me as well, but. He didn't like us at first. He thought, no, it's no big deal. And then he was more interested in a band called Yet Another Posse that were a more rap metal focused kind of thing. And I was lifting their gear at the time. So I would see Graham all the time at the Ultrasound, was a place that Dan Aykroyd used to own in Toronto at Queen Street. And Sunday nights, they would have major label showcases in the 90s. So you got down there, so it would be Mishy Me, Whitey Dawn.
We just had Mishy on the show.
Oh, yeah.
I
have such a crush on her still to this day.
She's the best.
Oh, she's the Jamaican. And they have all like the panel, like it's a talent show, right?
Yeah.
And then every wingdinger from everything else is there. And the bands would play, and like Greg Norrie would be there, writing down notes and stuff. So anyways, so I'd see Graham there, and he was more interested in these guys. And of all people that signed Yet Another Posse was Bob Wiseman, the keyboard player from Blue Rodeo, to a management deal. So they were trying to work on their record. So I'm talking to Graham just about, these guys are great. And Graham goes, what do you do for a living? I go, I work for a skateboard distributor. Bing!
Yeah.
Graham's like, you do what? And all of a sudden, Trigger Happy is very, very interesting to him all of a sudden. So, and that's where kind of the thing I made.
Were you guys the first band on Ron G?
No, it was King Apparatus.
King Apparatus, and they had Random
Killing.
Killing.
Another band called Top Secret.
Yeah.
So another band called Top Secret, and then the Random Killing records, they did really well with Random. Random Killing were doing Absolute Vodka ads. They were on Sesame Street.
Yeah, crazy stuff.
Yeah, Graham
it was a real thing for a while. It's sad that it's that's why I did the Sonic Onion documentary. So I was on a feature
I didn't
like
get asked for that.
What's that?
I didn't get interviewed.
Yeah. Well, I sort of stepped back when I took over this job and just an executive producer, but I put the thing together. Yeah. But that's because I wanted to tell that story. But Ron G would have an equally interesting story.
Oh my God.
A lot of bands. Jersey, were there. My band Cutoff was on there. They had Out of Hand. There was a lot of big.
Energy was brilliant, and then Graham is a dreamer, and this. Anyway, so we agreed to do a record. Graham agreed to do a record with us, so that was Kilotron 2000. Yeah. So we recorded that in 3 days, and then left for 4 weeks the next day. And then we came back, and then we left for a month with Furnace Face.
Oh, wow.
Them?
Yeah, I remember Furnace Face.
They had a hit song, If You Love Her, Buy Her a Gun. So Kill It, but then this is when Raw Energy was distributed by A&M. So we're on a major label. We were the successful Toronto band that got to do the Green Day tour. We played with Bad Religion at the River. We this, and this. Why all of a sudden is your album now on a major label? And that was a big no-no. We couldn't play Gilman. We couldn't play Gilman. Yeah. Sean Scallon fucking hi, Gilman Street. Don't let Al Nolan play there.
Scallon from Ottawa?
Yeah. I love him. That's his deal though. Like that's his thing. And so we got the blacklist of that, and it was because of this distribution through A&M. But no one knew that Graham at the time was like, they were afraid of him. Like, tell him we're not here. Like, that was like anytime Graham, never to be seen. Like that kind of stuff, right? Graham was the Ron G was the black sheep of they were trying to do well with Hypnotic and Big Sugar and stuff like that. But we were the sinners of that thing. And the funnier thing is, the president of A&M Records at that time was a gentleman named Bill Ott, and his stepdaughter took my virginity. And
Oh, wow.
She was the subject matter of the Deep End record after she broke my heart.
Is that the one? Was that the first girlfriend one that you wouldn't want to touch base? Oh, we got it out of you eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all comes full circle.
Like a record revolving.